Hello there, and welcome to what should be an absolutely excellent final. I will reset the scores in a moment, but I can absolutely assure you that this is indeed Love Nest in the south. And of course, it's Orange Pest in the north. This is the fourth qualifier for the Master League 2022 tournament. And one of these guys, and you've already seen a little bit of the surprise I was about to lay into. It's a non-meta commander final. The patrons voted for their favourite non-meta commanders, and the players were given a choice of 2 per faction. I'm going to paste them in chat right now in order of the factions. And yes, Love Nest and Orange Pest have already selected what they're going to be using. Talk us through it, Ed.
Love me OKWs, love me Koobles, Code 2, tournament final, simple as. Yeah, I'm pumped, man. Look at this already. Firestorm Doctrine locked in for the old Champione Love Nest, and Orange Pest representing USF gone for Urban Assault Company. Could be meta in the 2v2 world, but definitely not in the 1v1 scene. And yeah, pumped, Matt. This is ace.
It's really cool. There's also an extra $20 win bonus for this final. That was me to coerce the players into agreeing to my mad idea. It is a minor ML Cup, so they'll get, I think, 3 Master League points for winning, so it really affects seeding as well. But yeah, both players have essentially already qualified because of the point system in the background, so I had to make it a little bit juicy, Ed. And went to my mad Dexter's laboratory, and I came up with this. So let's see how it unfolds. Let's cast as pro as we can do. And, yeah.
I'll try not be DD and ruin your lab, Matt. But this is an interesting start already. Love Nest hella late on his second Volk build, Matt. That's like some rank 1000 vibes. But I can see why he was so preoccupied with the Kubel play, fixing it up. The good old fixie-fixies of the Sternpires on the front line, and got rid of that pesky rear echelon behind green cover. So I would say 1-0 already to the German.
If you wanted to know, by the way, the other choices they could have gone with, you might have been able to catch it on the very first 5 seconds of the game. For OKW, the choices were Scavenge or First Storm, as you've seen here. And for USF, it was Armour or Urban Assault. Right, we've got Rifleman's tangoing with Folks Grenadiers here, and we also do have Fuel being capped in the west. It looks like Love Nest has taken a slender early advantage, but the Rifles want to see to that.
Yeah, Orange Pest making sure it came at a cost, and there you go, the double Rifleman commit to the same part of the map, folks. As USF, you almost have to do it. And yeah, definitely got to get out of there with the Volks. Had Love Nest. Here comes his third Volk onto the field. Now, what do you reckon, Matt? This is a key kind of decision-making juncture for OKW. Third Volk or go for 4?
Well, Love Nest, of course, famously fought a lot against Talisman back in the day. In fact, he was probably his biggest rival in the biggest cup he ever played in. Obviously, Dev-M was probably his biggest rival over his career, but you know what I mean. And yeah. Talisman always went 4. So maybe Love Nest has in the back of his mind somewhere a little bit of a soft spot for that 4th Folks Grenadier. We'll have to wait and see. Just reset the scores. It is indeed a best of 3 today, guys. The first 2 games will be on Amelie Fields.
Solid map, solid players, and solid off-meta decisions with their commanders. So it's going to pose for a good game. These rear echelons so low HP. I don't know why Orange Pest would want to cost this manpower, but yeah, just adamant to get back to that connecting point. Well, mine already from Love Nest in the west as well, Matt. Just why I see it.
Good spot, Ed. Good spot. Yeah, on the cutoff as well. Very good. Just going to go back to this standoff in the east. Oh, that mine's a really good spot. Thank you for that. 2 Folks Grenadiers versus Rifles. Okay, he's chosen this moment after the incendiary miss because he's got the Kubel backing in to push them around. Love Nest getting all those Rifles out of position. What was that? Sorry, Ed.
Oh, he wanted just to moonwalk his way in there. Got shoved all the Riflemen out. That was an epic play from Love Nest.
It really
Why
was.
Why does it never go like that? I'll just lose the Kubel instantly.
It really was an excellent Kubel push. He did indeed push in at exact right time. The reason yours don't go like that, Ed, is he wasn't pushing up against an object. Now, the objects will often sandwich the models of the units between them, and they end up being roughly in the same place. In this case, it was a straight-up destruction derby, and he was able to smash them around. And they lost all of their accuracy, and they weren't able to fire. Now, the next choice is Orange Pest. We're going M20 next, and we have gone 4th Folks Grenadier for Love Nest.
And the good old Ambo, the GG Ambo. No cheap ambulance bulletin. Instead, he's gone for the M20 utility car. Has increased range and increased sight, Matt. So it's basically 222 on steroids, that thing.
Everybody in chat, we're gonna have people confused constantly. Just tell them it was a non-meta rules final. They'll understand.
So and we got our answer from Loveness. The 4th Volk was out, Matt. So
yep.
there you go. Bit of research paying off there.
In terms of KD so far, it's been quite a low game. It's been cat and mouse out there. They've been just posturing for position. M20 rolling over the ML logo, causing a bit of destruction to our logo there. That's not very good. Tire marks on it now.
Megalomaniac, Matt, not impressed.
Did you just get in the way of my ego logo?
Don't know why you turn into a 90-year-old man when
I know, I was trying to completely no-sell you there. Completely no-selling you. I always try and, Mass League's or the community's endeavour. When I cast with you, it's my ego world domination project, but but it probably is a bit of both. It's a bit of both. Anyway, we've got riflemen and rear echelons tagging the Folks Grenadiers back on retreat, and we're going to have to get some healing up in base. Where are the stern? They've put some down already. Perfect from Loveness there. That'll work out really well. Every one of those 10 Folks Grenadiers retreated, Ed, and they're all going to get healed up in time.
Yeah, and a slinky little Puma's going to come onto the field soon. I think that's a bold choice, but also spawned from just utter hatred of the M20. It is a little sniper on wheels.
We saw some excellent uses of Puma in this recent tournament. Of course, Alpern yesterday really hurt Loveness with double Puma. It was obviously the Wehrmacht version, but pretty sure they're near identical in stats, other than veterancy, of course.
Yeah, and Vet 3 as well. You hit so fast and pretty hard. So that's basically the main one you need. But OKW1 at Vet 4 does have more firing range, and with Vet 5 can be spotted behind line of sight blockers. Wow, didn't actually know that. Enemy units can be spotted behind line of sight blockers for the Vet 5 Puma. There you go.
Right, he's going in for the M20 now. We do have a 50 cal setup. Will that be enough of a deterrent? We've also had smoke discharged from the little scout car, but oh, he's getting hammered here. And he's dead.
Oh, it's abandoned! No, we're not allowed abandons here, so it did actually die. Whoa.
Exactly, yeah.
That's the close one, I thought. There's auto match back on, but no. Tawny Gaming, folks.
Indeed. Oh, we're getting an Opel Blitz cargo truck from Loveness next. I love it. You rarely see this. He's getting his logistics meta in game.
Opel medics forwards. It's gonna get pumped in. No, Volks could go down. Nope.
Yeah. Well, there's still some rifles firing on them. Actually, they're focusing the other folks.
Yeah,
so,
they swapped over. Yeah, that's 20 million IQ player though, isn't it? From Orange Fest, he's given up on that one because he knows it can't happen. He'd rather put all the pain onto another squad. That is a thorn in the
look
side.
at the manpower preservation from that quick decision, Ed. You're exactly right. Yeah. And these little differences, choosing the right thing to focus fire at the right time. Grenade in. What a grenade it was there from the first grenades, but they do only have the MP40s. They can't tag them on retreat. What a shot it was, and we just had the Puma go for a shot as well. That also missed. What a grenade though, Ed.
Surprise, Orange Press took that nade, whereas the Sternpire's in hella trouble now, Matt. 50 cal with the bench press setup.
Oh, and we also had...
Oh, they're going to get away.
Retreat. Kimbo style there, he couldn't get the kill. Puma backs away, can they get a rifle nade? Oh, no, they can't, because they've recently thrown... no, it's independent cooldown. They could have actually got an anti-tank grenade.
Very good use of cover here from Loveness. He's got a very low Volks squad. Just retreated it, but stayed in the green cover, so didn't get suppressed by the 50 cal for so long. Providing great sight for the Puma, which is pretty rampageous. 5 kills already, Matt.
Yeah, it's doing well. I mean, Puma, as I say, yesterday it killed a sniper. 250 cals for Orange Press, clearly going for crowd control, but with this light vehicle running rampant, it looks like a bit of a bad building decision, especially going M20 first. Loveness is going to run ramp shots all over him.
Look at this Kubel mini games in the corner of the map though. It's like, hello boys, I'm back. And then just gets 50 cal to the face and soon leaves again, but he's still alive. That. Oh, man.
This is big on the 50 cal as well. We might get another. We get a decrew here. He's going to get it. One squad did get suppressed. We do have a 4-man rifleman ready to pick it up. That could have been far worse. We do also have an incendiary grenade of the Americans, because it's urban assault, of course, on the double Folks Grenadier.
Yeah, this could only get more off meta if there was a Luke's, I was just going to say, and he builds a Luke's. What's going on? Loveness is somehow like reading everybody's mind at the moment, not just Orange Pests, but yeah. Well, interesting choice. He's just totally committing to trying to destroy all these rifleman squads off.
This'll help though, Ed. We got handheld anti-tank on the field, a double bazooka rear echelon squad. So we're not going to have Stuart anytime soon now. So he's really going to rely. There's the mine, by the way, you called out earlier. He's not going to have Stuart anytime soon. And we've got a Luke's coming out. So I really think Orange Pest has, I'm going to say it, lost this one at this point, Ed. If nothing big happens RNG-wise, or Loveness gets complacent and makes a huge mistake like he did versus Inca Una or Elpern, this kind of looks strategically over.
Well, it's the big George W fuel for Loveness, and like, I don't know, Loveness with double fuel and 2 light vehicles already, he can push towards that P format, and that might be curtains for Orange Pest. But he does have this horrendously bullshit strong versions of Shermans with the bulldozers, so if he can get to one of those, they can definitely tango with the P4 and hold out pretty well.
Folks Grenadiers pushing on the western side. Rear echelons won't be able to stop them, so that fuel will not go into Orange Pest hands. Let's have a look at the one on the east, but the Luke's is there, and he has to double retreat away from the fuel. Immediately, the Luke's has a huge impact on controlling the fuel for Loveness. So indeed, we are going to be seeing Panzer IV sooner rather than later. And what's this Opal Blitz doing? Is it just chilling in base distributing supplies? Oh, it is indeed. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
Medical
it's
supplies.
just an OKW ambo at the moment, I think now.
Cool.
But that's quite a saucy list. You don't normally see that top right of your screen with OKW. You know, there'll be kids in the audience mat today like, Papa, what is OKW? So they never actually get to see him in tournament play. But it's like, here you are, son. Just shit ton of light vehicles flying into the face of the enemy, and it's good fun to watch.
It certainly is. Stern Pioneers taking the other cutoff, the cutoff to nowhere. Because there are no territory sectors really capped for Orange Pest at the moment. He has 2 under his control, 2 in total. Meanwhile, Loveness has a huge fuel income. He's getting a second Luke's. He wants to finish this off sooner rather than later.
I feel this off meta from Loveness was like Vince McMahon. It was the meta all along, Matt, and he's doing so well with it. The Luke's and the Puma combined, nearly taking down that anti-tank rear echelon squad. Pretty unlucky there with not getting the last model drop, but yeah, the Kubel's in trouble though, Matt. No, and it's on disabled. It's on detection mode as well.
Oh dear.
The burn.
Creeping away slowly, but one less thing for Loveness to micro is the second Luke's.
Yeah,
One less
probably.
is the second Luke's hits. He doesn't really need that little, the little guy anymore, sadly.
It's done its job. Yeah.
Right then. So let's start theory crafting ways that Orange Pest can get back into this. I mean, one would usually kind of expect to have seen a captain, but instead we've had the major, indicating, of course, he's going to try and get just the Sherman out. Now, I just foresee the Puma tagging the Sherman at max range. Oh, well, that's a nice volley from the rear echelon. That'll help. Good incendiary as well. We can get some hits
Yeah,
there.
a couple of Molotov for an incendiary trade. Trying to scorch earth your beautiful logo there, Matt, on the map. But yeah, tough strat to push into those Loveness against double 50 cal usually, but because he didn't go the tried and tested meta battle group, he's just making mechanized work, and that's very rare we get to say that these days.
Yeah, it is indeed. If you're just tuning in, this was an agreement from the players. Loveness' exact words were, not really a fan of last-minute rule changes, but seems fun. Okay. So, yeah, he was okay with the idea of getting 2 non-meta commanders chosen by the patrons, and this is the one he chose. That's just a recap for the people joining in. This is the 4th qualification final for Master League Finals 2022.
And it's not even been sloppy play really from Orange Fest. It's just been really good decision making from Loveness to bring out the Puma first and not go Luke's, so he could just destroy that M20. I think was a masterful
we just
decision.
had premature rear echelon bazooka-ration there. They got straight in the shed and fired upon getting into the shed. They fired up the shed's ground. I don't know if anybody else
Fair
saw
enough.
that. It was random.
Sometimes they're just too excited, you know.
Yeah, indeed. Major with the bazooka as well, so he's just trying to soft counter this entire, let's just cinematic view this, because it is pretty epic.
Vet 2 Major, dude, just saying. Not bad. I think in Vet 3 it gets cheaper recon and all sorts of other bonuses, but
Yeah, he can spam them at Vet 3, that's right. We've got MP40, Folks Grenadiers trying to end this MG's life right now. Oh, he's forced away by the second MG, he had his buddy's back.
Puma more kills on infantry than the Lukes. Just saying.
Gonna call it right now, guys. The
yeah.
only way for Orange Pest to win this IMO, you may want to disagree, so if you disagree, just say so. You are allowed, it's okay. We may be under the Master League, the rule, apparently. The Empire's head called it. But no, I think Jackson head, genuinely. Because Sherman's just not going to be enough, IMO.
Even with the big boy bulldozer on it.
Well, what's that going to do against all these light vehicles?
Well, it's just one light vehicle that's a problem. It's just the Puma, and we know how flimsy they are. So,
oh, I don't know, mate. I think
Loveness is one bad snare away from the domino theory of just getting flattened. But despite his double fuel, he has.
Oh, bazookas hit the Lukes! That's a huge. That's a huge find for Orange Pest.
So it begins.
He really needed that. That was excellent by him. Finding the Lukes at max range might have even been an attack round.
There we go, Matt. It ain't over. We've seen it in sport all the time. Same thing applies in Code 2. You have to kill off the game fully. Loveness barely lost any VPs though, so he does have that in his favour, Matt.
It's Sturmgewehr, Sturm Pioneers on the Major's retreat. He's not even going to make it past them, I don't think. Where's the focus fire though?
Oh, to the rescue.
Yeah, the suppression there got stuck in. By the way, we've had rocket artillery on the retreat here. Where's it going to land? Oh, Orange Pest was clever there. He didn't get too scared. He waited to retreat and then retreated through it.
Although
As it finished. Yeah, no, he timed it.
Almost cast his curse those 50 cals, but that's what I was saying. It's a hard thing to push into his double 50 cal. They set up so fast. It's so hard to flank them and keep it going without a live vehicle and a squad pressuring at the same time. But yeah, we're just down to one Mighty Lukes and one Puma. The Schwer is getting upgraded, but look at Loveness' fuel, Matt, because he's gone so heavy on that early game domination. He's got no medium tank, and here we go. The Papa Sherman's on point with the bulldozer upgrade. Does cost 20 fuel, but every bit worth of it. I think this is the comeback card.
Yeah. I don't know why. I was thinking about Armour Company. I thought we were on the bulldozer Sherman. Of course, the bulldozer blade. Yeah, the health increase, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a buff. Like I've ran into this thing many times on TV2. Do not think your P4 can outmatch this upgraded Sherman that well. But Ketano from Loveness, so this is smart. He definitely needs something to tie him over until he gets some medium armor or heavy armor if he goes straight for the Pickety Panther.
There he is, finally. We have had a bit of fighting in the west. What's this been going on? Lukes versus Rifles. Folks Grenadier softly pushing them away there. Still, of course, the map has largely been dominated by Loveness, but we do have a bit of pushing up here by Orange Pest, putting some barbed wire down. That's smart. He's trying to consolidate his territories now. Don't forget, he's the player with the double MG, so that'll work to his advantage. Sherman's going to be operating quite well. And how's this Schwer going to play into things with its...
Yeah, it's ballsy placement, Matt. Like, all it takes is a couple of USF AT guns to be made up. But Orange Pest, crucially, doesn't have Captain Tech. So, AT guns might be a while off yet.
Yeah, that's.
But I like it though. It's Schwer. It covers the mid VP. It's totally Loveness 2 and 2. He is a VP man, and I think it's worth defending it as well. There you go, Raquette in there to help out. I think he's sitting pretty pretty good now, but...
Oh, Major may take out the... Oh, it's only got one bazooka, I believe. Anyway, the Puma's fine. In the east, by the way, we've got a 50 cal looking over the fuel. He was sick of not having fuel. The rear echelons will finish their barbed wiring. The riflemen watch on as the focus grenadiers close the distance. They get that superior DPS. But yes, there's another 50 cal. Orange is really trying to bunker down and get some fuel control, finally.
And just look at the 50 cal's field of view when it's inside the house. That machine gun arc is huge. It's just completely shut Love Nest down on the eastern side. And now we're seeing George W. fuel for good old Orange Pest. So far from over this game, Matt, despite the huge disparity in VPs. I think Orange Pest has still got a good chance here.
The only problem is for Orange Pest is we've got Obers on the field now, and those things are badasses at protecting victory points. They'll sit there, and you have to close the distance against the MG34, and they're worth like 60 victory points on their own, you know, just by being on the field in terms of pressure that they apply. And I'm looking at Orange Pest's victory point count. It's going to be really difficult to get back in there. In fact, you know, you're probably going to need a Calliope to go really well, or the push-in to go amazingly well as well. With the now 5-man, by the way, rear echelon when he gets his 5th, and the Major with the bazooka as well. Everything has to come in at the same time and be perfectly timed in order to win this game. And I'm not so sure Orange Pest is going to be able to pull that off.
Needs a glorious big GG push at some point, just to knock out these light vehicles that are doing really well for Love Nest. He did lose one Luke's, but he's controlled the other two pretty expert level.
A really good shout from Von Ivan in chat, by the way. He says no triple bazooka rangers. That would have been an excellent shout. But a triple bazooka rangers actually pack a punch enough to take out a medium tank at times, so that good.
And they get the extra bonus against armor. Came in a few patches ago. There we go, gun crew down for Love Nest. The MG34. Sometimes it's better just to lose it because it's so bad.
Yeah.
But to the enemy, and then you can rely that it won't really suppress that well.
Indeed. In the centre, the Shermans just trying to get rid of the Ober's position of power, and it is just that. Orange Pest, meanwhile, has been able to neutralise the victory point in the west. He's still on 100 victory points, but he'll drop down to double-digit figures soon enough.
BAR on one of the rifleman squads of Orange Pest, so you could always do triple bars ranges as well if you want to laugh, but let's see a Molotov get used on the west victory point. This is some ferocious fighting here, going down to the last model, almost of each squads.
Orange Pest was able to survive, it would seem, although there was a central victory point cap, so he has now dropped down to 92. We are seeing Rangers might have the cast on his audio. No, I'm joking. It's 5 minutes ago that this was played. Ober's looking low, by the way. The Raketenwerfer ties them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Could have been better. Schwer to the rescue, it seems. It's covering the victory point. Look at that spread, that circle on the screen right now.
Yeah, good hold there from Love Nest. Obers, I don't know what they were doing. It was a bit hit or miss that overextension, but he gets away with it. Raketen tried to ruin his dreams. But yeah, here we go. Flamethrower on the Stern Pioneers as well, Matt.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that's why it was chosen so late, as he didn't necessarily need it at that point in time, and it doesn't really add enough on. It doesn't really add enough on Amelie Fields. Second Sherman now out. That's going to add enough.
And not one tank for Love Nest. He might even have to go JP4 here and surrender a bit of the anti-infantry capabilities and leave it up to his Obers.
To be honest, JP4 is an excellent shout. I actually really agree with that. He's also floating manpower. This is Love Nest entering the Love Nest complacency zone. When he's cruising, and we've seen it a few times in the tournaments, he seems to dominate just like the Love Nest of old, and then he'll take his foot off the gas and allow his opponent back into things.
Goes into autopilot maybe because he's just so used to dominating, but the opposition are getting so much better in these
Panzer
tournaments.
IV and Raketenwerfer chosen for Love Nest of this huge pool of banked manpower. Bulldozer Sherman. Or is it Sherman Bulldozer? Sherman with bulldozer shoots away the Panzer II there.
I just like how when it upgrades, it just flips out of nowhere like a Swiss Army bulldozer.
Yeah, indeed. It just pops, doesn't it? So no transition whatsoever. Ooh, there's a grenade, but the rifleman spread was convenient for Orange Pest. But victory points are still going into Love Nest hands. He's only lost 26 this game.
Good thing this isn't a team game, because Love Nest will be getting pinged every 5 seconds to cap the fuel. by Duffman and Co. So this has been double fuel for quite a while now on Orange Pest's side. I'm just seeing this great topsy-turvy off-meta battle. And I think double Sherman versus 1P4. Okay, there's 2 Rikettans, but I don't know, man. It's still not out the woods yet.
He's gone for the Thompsons on the Rangers.
I just saw that. Not as fun, but a lot of DPS though. Yeah. If they get behind the lines on some Rikettans.
They have to get behind the lines, and getting behind the lines when there's a Schwerpanzer headquarters, it's going to be bloody difficult.
Yeah, the Calliope could be a next option though. It's not too far away in terms of fuel. It's only 115 fuel, and it would round out as pop cap.
I just think he's fuel dipped for some reason. I don't know what he did there. Okay. He's trying a huge push over here in the west. He's got infantry in a massive line. The MG34 needs to be decrewed. Can he get the DPS off? It looks like he will do. Yeah, he's pushed it away. Meanwhile, Major dies. Kettenwerfer misses. Panzer IV in an excellent position with the Puma watching on. The Rangers push past. He has been able to neutralise the victory point, keeping him on 72.
Yeah, Major did the major inconvenience as well of dying and leaving a bazooka behind. So Obers or Stern Pioneers have got a spare weapon slot. They could pick that up and use it against them.
Oh, he couldn't quite time it there with the Sherman and the anti-tank grenade, and he's forced a full retreat away past this huge gauntlet of fire.
Yeah, it's the first time Orange Pest has kind of got 2 VPs. You just see how he's so scared of the mid VP due to that Schwer coverage. So he's having to push the western VP, and it really is a long way on Amelie Fields, especially on the retreat path. So Loveness needs to look for wipes on that potential.
Right, we've had 14 combined kills on the Sherman. The Puma has 12 infantry kills and 1 vehicle destroy. So Pumas are better than Shermans. You've heard it here first.
Pumas are definitely rarer than Shermans, but here comes the little Lukes to remind us that he's still in the game. 14 kills on the Lukes, Vet 2. Good scouting unit, and Loveness has always been great with either Lukes or T-70s in past games, I remember, Matt.
Yeah.
Keeping them alive to the end.
Yeah, that's a very good point. He plays cautiously with them, and he just lets them do the work for themselves. He lets, you know, they often say that with good tools, as you let the tool work itself, you don't try and work the tool, and that's exactly how he plays the light tanks.
Well, Orange Pest might feel like a bit of a tool because he just lost his beautiful 50 cal to Loveness with a very nice flank on the far right hand side, Matt. But and it gets home as well, so that's a 50 cal plus 1 for Loveness. That's going to help him a lot.
2 machine guns for him now, and that's the exact wrong time for it to happen in a victory point struggle. Puma's under fire, as is the Panzer IV, but the Rakettenwerfer's there to thwart the advance. There's 2 of them, in fact. We do have the Calliope on the field, charging on. The Rakettenwerfer taking out that veterancy. But a Sherman did go down, Ed.
And a rear echelon as well, somewhere in the fray. Oh my god, 1 shot away for that Sherman Calliope. I don't know, Loveness. He's probably not in a good position to attack still. Everything very low HP. But the sneaky little Lukes on, regular movement, or what's it called?
Cautious
Camouflage
movement.
Mode. Yeah, cautious movement.
It's a cautious little Lukes. It's like, oh, do I, don't
Not
I?
on hold fire, though. Interesting.
No.
But if you can put that on hold fire and hide it somewhere, it can be a sneaky little forward assembly. Observation unit.
Cap the victory point likely for the last time, I would imagine, unless we can see some incredible heroics from Orange Pest's army.
It's been a good fight back regardless from Orange Pest, because most would have said at 10 or 12 minute mark this is GG for USF, but did make it interesting. Got to the double Sherman kind of maximum capacity of his army, then it started slipping elsewhere. We saw the 50 cal getting lost, losing the Major earlier, and the rear echelon. They all add up, man.
Ooh, smoke deployed here. That's going to help him try and eke towards that victory point. He's trying to do the same in the centre, but still scared of the Schwer, the only solitary Sherman. And where's the Calliope at? Its barrage is coming down now. He's got 8 seconds left on it.
Good flank and shank here from the Thompson up Rangers. Down goes Loveness. No! Oh, he got to stay. Yeah, there we go. Down goes the 50 cal. He almost let it off there.
Yeah, almost. Right, he's
Never
going.
Calliope barrage.
Yeah, it's just on. Oh, they're moving into it, actually. That could have been juicy. He needs it to be juicy. He's going to have to keep the Rangers in the fight here, unfortunately for him. They're going to have to neutralise and then retreat. There they go, and what a terrible retreat it is, because that bush has been destroyed. They're going right under the treads of the tank.
Brave, brave Sir Robin. Oh, and as Merry Men
Oh,
gets
the
away.
Puma!
Yes.
This thing's an infantry destroyer. It used aim shot there, by the way. Aim shot to try and to kill one of the two Rangers on retreat.
Well seen, yeah. 45 munitions for a guaranteed model. Snipe usually. That 350 cal though from Orange Pest just going to bleed out to the P4. I think Brain AFK or...
I think he's quit. I think this is over.
This,
He's thrown the towel and he's
looks
going to wait
done.
for game 2 now.
Oh, savage, but yeah, great beat down there. Love Nest just on top and on form. GG's. Good options
And
from Love Nest.
Yeah, very good options from Love Nest. We're back now, and let's just quickly look at these commanders that they had to choose from, and you see if there's anything better that Orange Pest could have done on Amelie. Let's have a look. I'll bring it up on screen right now. So starting from the top, let me drag it down. There you go. You could have gone with. So he was allies, so he could have gone with Soviet tank hunter or partisan. Not a fan of that one, Amelie. Maybe.
There's
maybe
a couple of little what are they called, sheds you can pop out of, but yeah, pretty hard to utilize on there. Brits could have been interesting on that map.
Yeah, Vanguard or Commando. So we could have gotten the crocodile. That would have been interesting.
And having a Bofors locking down half the map, yeah. But I think Love Nest is a bit too wise for that.
I think armor would have been a better choice than urban assault. I'm just going to say it. I think armor's pretty decent.
You prefer those kind of Shermans? I just thought with the beefy Shermans they could get more done, but
maybe
he'd lost so many other peripheral units, which was the difference I thought for Love Nest. He was just sitting pretty with an Ober and then a couple of MGs at the end, and with his double racket, and he's in the, as much as off meta as that was, he's then in the meta build kind of sweet spot, as it were, for Co2. Double AT guns, double MGs, and he's got a Schwer to help with the VP. So it was tough work there for Orange Pest. He lost the M20 early. It was a good chase from Love Nest, and luckily we don't have abandons, else that could have been a whole different story. But yeah, so I think Orange Pest definitely packs a punch, though. He can hurt Love Nest. So in game 2, don't just think it's going to be a foregone conclusion just after that. And Love Nest showed a couple of
moments of lapse, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, Amelie Fields is a slightly Wehrmacht flavoured map and OKW favoured map because of it has the angles for support weapons and stuff, and especially trucks, as we saw there. They can lock down more territory. That's why Orange Pest went for 2 machine guns. He was trying to emulate that style of play, but I think Love Nest didn't do what Orange Pest was expecting. It was almost like he went the opposite direction, went for light vehicles instead, and Orange Pest just ended up being countered. So it was a masterstroke in that sense. Anyway, let's see if game 2 is available. I'm just going to load out Code 2 and load back in again. Yeah,
slight theory as well from me, Matt. Just on that game we just saw there to conclude. Do you think mechanized only worked because he had the call-in, basically ambulance truck for the OKW?
Yeah, it really helped. It's a really good call. Yeah,
you don't have to then splooge out munis on munitions all the time, and then you don't have to back tech, and it's a bit clunky to go get a battle grouper for healing. I think that really did help him out in that game.
Yeah, I agree. Completely agree. And I just think that they've chosen their factions. By the way, it's going to be back to the Eastern Front for the next game. I just really think that Love Nest kind of countered Orange Pest in a hard way there. Orange Pest was expecting support weapons, and he went for support weapons, and then he got countered by light vehicles. And I don't think Orange Pest's counters to the light vehicles were good enough, quite frankly. If you're going to get...
No, he went for loads of Zooks, but not on the right. Like, Von Ivan was crying in chat away, like, where was the triple Zook ranges? They could have really hurt light vehicles. I think they can even one-shot a Lukes if all 3 Zooks connect, because of their buffed damage to vehicles. And yeah, I don't know. Lieutenant as well. No AT guns from the major. It's the old sticking point of the USF, really. You're so committed, and without something like the super glue of an airborne doctrine, covering all the cracks in the teching options, I do think USF, they're very hard to pull off, and that's why we only saw Dave, DevM, and now Inkuna really making them worthwhile, I think.
Yeah, it always feels to me as though like Dave or DevM, probably mostly DevM because he played for the longest, like their US is like 100% efficient, not 100%, but it's like the maximum. And then you see Orange Pest or Inca, they always get to like 70-80% of what you want to see them do, because we saw so much DevM US over the years. And Orange Pest has always tried to take them in a different direction a little bit, using more support weapons more often, I've found from watching his play. Like, also he'll sometimes use Scots and that kind of thing. And he can get wins now and again, but I've never really seen him win a top-level elite opponent in a tournament with that style.
Yeah. I think... And similarly with OKW, who maybe Isildur's pulled off the odd good win with OKW, but it definitely does seem an austere-heavy meta patch at the moment in 1v1 world. Yeah. But there we just saw still the power of the early and mid game of OKW. If you get that Kubel and those early engagements going your way.
Well, you'll be pleased to hear, depending on map, Ed, Mill Road is a very good one for that. OKW actually go 50-50 with Wehrmacht, and we're seeing players like Theodosios. I know he's not an elite player, but he helped popularize the return of OKW, just like Isildur did last year. And then Love Nest jumped on the bandwagon. He's been playing OKW on his Mill Road games. So
and during lockdown we had Asia Mint as well, weapon for the OKW hype train. He pulled them off really well, especially with the INR half track, just spotting all the enemies with a JP4 behind it. You didn't really get that from any other player, did you?
No.
So he's definitely missed in that scene. But I do like a good tear up between OKW and USF to watch. Yeah. Definitely mixes things up.
I definitely feel as though that this game is a 4-faction game. I think we should be really happy about that, because although we do see
it's
a
Brits, lot... Brits, and more Brits,
just Brits in every game. But I do see that, we obviously have a lot of Wehrmacht Soviets, but we do have a good chunk of US and OKW, and I think that's a really strong position. I came from the Co-1 competitive scene originally, and it was not as diverse, basically. You saw a little bit of Panzer Elite now and again, and that was it. It was mostly just Wehrmacht. And with the same, Commander's Doctrines used every time, because there were only 3, and only 2 of them are viable. So it was, we have a lot to be thankful for with KO2. It's not that they're actually that bad, Matthias. It's that they're incredibly linear and predictable and boring.
Clunky not having the snares.
Yeah,
they don't have their snares on their main units. Now, you could try to use this with some of the latest patches that have come out to bring out rear echelons like really early with the call-in ones. But just having the snare on your same unit that needs to fix your tanks is usually quite tricky to pull off. You want it on your frontline infantry that are normally going in to clear out and to scout. So, I don't know. It's a bit clunky, but boy, if you get them in a team game sometimes and they lock down a map, very hard to move off the points. So they do have their purpose, but it's very map dependent. Basically, Langaskaya. If you got Langaskaya and Brits,
that's a good call. That's a good call. Langras is a good map for Brits, and I think
it's a good map in general. I miss Langras.
I think they are. Yeah, clunky's another good word for them. I would say clunky, because that's how it feels. Your infantry sections behind sandbags, your AECs, a big clunky monstrosity, and it's just how they play. So we've got the game here. We're gonna launch into it now. and then we'll roll straight into it. So it's going to be on your screens in 2 minutes. Just going to get a quick drink of water. Hang on. Hello there and welcome to Game 2. And before I click start, in case the players click a commander before I have time to show you, this is a non-meta final. The players have been told in advance they only have 2 commanders to use for each faction, and the patrons of the Master League chose it. So if you want to be part of this kind of fun in the future, make sure you become a patron and get up on there. Orange Pest has the following. He has Elite Troops Doctrine or Mobile Defense to choose from. And what does Love Nest have, Ed?
Loveness has got the good old-fashioned partisans. Just for some party tactics. We said there was a couple of sheds previously, and I wasn't joking. There's literally just 2 sheds. But there's 2 also houses on the periphery of the map, so partisans could see a little emergence here. And then on the other doctrine, we got Dank Hunters with their AT capability on the unkillable cons. So yeah, looks like a doozy in store for us today, Matt.
And there we go. That's why I wanted to pause it before I started. We do indeed have Orange Pest going straight into Elite Troops Doctrine. This guy's 1-0 down. And I don't think he's ever actually won an official ranked super duper tournament for, you know, actual ranking points, basically.
Okay.
So
this is his one chance.
This could be a very good chance. I actually expect him to fight very hard today. There's also an extra $20 win bonus. And of course, they both have the prestige of going through to the finals 2022, an 8-player event, which will be in 2 weeks' time. Do not miss it. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to do a little bit of promotion for that and try and get some more eyeballs on our fantastic game and community.
Definitely. We had no we had no input in making this game, but it is definitely fantastic, and we share it all with the community still to this day, years and years after release. So that shows the test of time that Code 2 has managed to uphold, just like its Code 1 predecessor.
Yeah, and well, now that Code 3 is on the horizon, I mean, me and Ed remarked in Game 1, but we actually think Code 2 is it's just matured really well. Now that PCs don't get bug splats playing it as well, what a good chip. And the 64-bit patch must have helped a little bit as well. It's so nice not to have bug splats all the time. Do you remember that? For the first 5 years of this game.
Even casting, we were like, whoop.
We used to get bug splats while casting. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And now we don't
and
have
players
that.
would get bug splats, in big tournament games, and then it caused a load of hoo-ha with refs having to decide, okay, who was at the head of the... Yeah, it's just so much better with everything working like this as it is now. But I'm intrigued about elite troops against dank hunters, Matt. Like, we could see G43's stormtroopers or Grens up against 80 gun-wielding conscripts. That's a bit of a mismatch in terms of anti-infantry.
Just to talk new players through what Orange Pest did there. Upon barbed wiring off the heavy cover to deny it to his enemy, he doesn't actually want to tango with somebody that has rifles when he only has MP40, so he actually hid behind the fence until the moment was right for him, and that's just good tactical gunplay, and that's what makes Company Heroes a superior RTS.
Yeah, and each model, we say model, it means individual soldier within the squads, has its own health pool, and damage gets shared out pretty equally, but sometimes you just don't want to take that extra little damage on one model that's stuck out on a limb from the squad. And Orange Pest with really good control there, whereas the Grens go face to face with the cons, fighting over a sandbag and dirt and a connector point.
Yep, meanwhile more conscripts join the fighting. He's still got fuel connected thanks to Amelie's design, with the cutoff being quite... Oh, and look at this! Love Nest is not deterred by Elpern's Puma sniping his sniper yesterday. He's gone for a sniper pretty early yet again. And it's a very good map for it has to be said.
Well, that plugs in the anti-infantry disparity I was just talking about earlier. So it's going to be a sniper from Love Nest to try and balance it up. And I still think Orange Pest with some stormtroopers, Matt, that could be evil against a sniper with that camouflage and... Yeah, dirty tactics could be in play here from Orange Pest. He needs a win. He needs to get back 1-0 and give us a great best of 3 on this fine Sunday.
Pioneers close the distance on the combat engineers with the MG backing them up. Orange Pest has had a really clever start so far, but that's what sniper play does for you. You cede a bit of control for the long term, and then over that term, you really put a drain on their manpower economy.
And your nerdling rage builds higher and higher every time that sniper plinks a kill. Oh, it's like chalk on a chalkboard, nails on a chalkboard. Sorry.
Ed, can I tell you? Do you know sometimes
take.
you give us your war stories about those 1 or 2 times you've accidentally beaten a top level player? I played a drunken Orange Pest once. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played a drunken Orange Pest once. And I knew the only chance I had was to play sniper, and I can confirm that I beat... I've got Weetabix in my throat, sorry.
it's sometimes trying to knock them out.
No, sometimes don't little chaffs of Weetabix, they actually become airborne, like COVID.
I've had Weetabix in years.
Really? It's
carbohydrates.
More like... It's just carbohydrates. It's mega fuel. It's great. Sorry,
yeah.
I beat a paralytic, like drunken out of his face, Orange Pest. You know you do it. You just go sniper against him. He hates snipers. A rifle nade, by the way. Oh, they just stopped the building. Accuracy nerf. That would have been a little bit more damaging, I believe. But it was still pretty damaging. Now they're just being spotters for the sniper. But yeah, I can confirm. We all know it from streaming. But Orange Pest, his nerd rage against snipers. It's like the angry German kid from CS.
He was losing a lot of keys in his keyboard, slamming it so hard.
Honestly.
Well, Matt, every dog has its day, you know, and every game in Co 2, it's 50-50. You know, there can only be one winner. Thank God we don't have judges like in the boxing world last night. If anyone saw that, so we can't get robberies. There's always going to be an out-and-out winner, and that's why we love this game. It's proven who's the best. Add some little clickety-click.
Right.
Dweeby RTS, but there we go. Sniper again, 5th kill already, and we're only in the 6th minute, Matt. So good going so far.
Yeah, he's just had a big hit against him. That's actually scuppered the 222's plans. I reckon he was just going to go straight inroads for the sniper. But that timely MG burst has forced the sniper off the field, and as predicted, yes indeed. Oh, but the tank hunters were waiting. Oh, and he's just seen them at the last second. Just reversing away, noped out of that situation.
Yeah, but 18-8s haven't been unlocked yet. Now the tank hunters, I think, can still throw a load of barrage of 18-8s, but does mean all the other conscripts will be toothless against the 222 if it's charging down in on the sniper, who's been healed up not to full. Brave decision here from Loveness. Does show his need to get it back out on the pitch. Basically get that field presence, and here we go, Matt. What's Loveness doing? Look at his build order.
I'll tell you what, Orange Pest's got another implement of destruction versus the sniper. He's also gone stormtroopers with the Jaeger infantry package to really help him spring a trap on the sniper.
But I'll ask you one more time, anyway. Look at Loveness's build order. Look at top left now.
Oh yeah, he's going for a second sniper. Sorry, I don't
Definitely.
you speak like fluent Southpaw. Sometimes I don't actually get what you're saying. I don't recognise it as a human noise sometimes. Pioneers are on the retreat path of these conscripts. They're just going to take the cut off the 222s in, and it is indeed, as Ed may have alluded to, a second sniper on the field. In fact, he may actually kill this Pioneer. He's tracking him. He's prone. He may get... Oh, he's just been broken up at the last second. Couldn't get it.
Yeah, strong sprint level from the Pioneers. Endurance for days, and no jiggle peak headshot from... Ooh, the lady sniper does have 8 kills, about to hit vet 1. We've got 2 female snipers. Oh, right.
Okay.
Is it 50-50, like, what gender your sniper will be?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Much like giving birth. Guys, can we have some underwhelming names for both? Oh my god, sorry. Hang on a second. There's the stormtroopers immediately taking out a sniper. I was just about to name her. I'm glad I bloody didn't, because that would have been even worse. Stormtroopers there with an amazing ambush. Their first action on the field is to counter-snipe with incredible precision. Well played by Orange Pest.
And for once, a little prediction of these G43 stormtroopers comes true, Matt. That was such an early wipe.
That was a normal grenade. That was a stun grenade, in fact. But oh no, hang on a second. Yeah, it was. You get some on retreat there, though. I love it when they're stunned whilst they're sprinting. They should then retreat the wrong way, like they're going northward towards base. They should stop like running westward. That'd be hilarious.
They just all disperse like a little delta split.
Oh, we get a rare suppression in the house there. You get that. You get suppressed upon entering, and it really is an interesting kind of bugged condition to be in.
But here we go. Tank hunters revealing themselves through the retreating grenadier. Just kind of gave away the element of surprise there for Orange Pest. So Loveness's 2-2 can... Sorry, Orange Pest's 2-2 can skip away untouched. I love G43 Stormtroopers. Come on, Matt. It's got to be one of the best
well,
units
it's
in the
Loveness' favourite unit in the game, and he's having it used against him here upon signing up for this tournament project. It's like an epic 5 tournament series, isn't it? The players were asked what their favourite unit was on the Google form, and Loveness put Stormtroopers, and we're seeing why. They're badass, aren't they?
Yeah, it's interesting he doesn't have PTSD from Captain S. Price spamming Stormtroopers against him once. I remember that old pocket strat, but yeah, Orange Pest just with the G43s. They do cost $60 of munis to upgrade, but I think worth every penny.
Oh, here they come, those Dank Hunters, as affectionately named through the community. They're going to use the tank grenade assault. The anti-tank grenade assault, rather, and there's loads of them. Bye-bye, 222. They didn't even need the
Just
last one.
one offer, yeah. Just to make a statement, but sniper hella low. Grenadiers nearly picked up the sniper kill there, Matt. Just got to keep focus so much on that unit. Does Love Nest did go for the big
has to
Chad
go
double
for
sniper.
support weapons here. He does not feel like his tier 1 build has worked, and he's now getting a Maxim just to stop the marauding G43 squads. Grenade on retreat there, stunning them again.
Nothing stuns you quite like writing big red capital letters "stunned" across your body. But here we go, Pioneers finally get some action in with their close range MP40s.
Oh, a demo charge on retreat as well. That's devious by Loveness. We saw him do this versus Elper, and it worked beautifully. Now he needs to get the DPS in to cause a squad to retreat. We're having healing on the front lines as well by Orange Pest. It might not matter about the healing if he has to run all the way back. We do have a stun grenade used. Meanwhile, in the centre, they're getting really close to the demo. There's no Minesweeper, but he can see it, of course. But there's a lot of action to be seen as well. Orange Pest has managed to spot it. Also, he spots the sniper, forces it away. Maxim pushes into the situation. What an interesting situation.
Yeah, so many little abilities used there. We see the demo being pulled out and the frontline healing behind a big side blocking hedge. So they actually healed up to full nearly. So brilliant stuff there for both players. Definitely switched on. Just because it's off meta doesn't mean it's totally brain AFK, and yeah, it's looking like we're going to get that juicy best of 3 game if Orange Pest can hold this up.
Lush Meadow asks, can demo charges camo? No longer they can after about 2018. It was one of the changes. I was actually once upon a time, I actually got to give feedback to the balance team of Code 2. I don't know why they cancelled me. But I did remember telling them, in Code 1 it was great. You just put things, you hide the demo. You have to conceal it manually, like behind a building or a bush. And it added a fun element to the game, and they kind of put it in. It's pretty cool.
Would have been nice if it's like an equivalence for both factions, you know, Soviets and Austere, but Allies won the war, so
they get the demos.
Benefit. Yeah.
Right, Maxim opens up with its suppression there, stopping the Grenadiers in their tracks, but Orange Pest is having a great time of things. He's got his Panzer IV on his way just as the Zist gun hits, so Loveness kind of feel for what he needed was pretty damn accurate there. Saying that though, Ed, he does have 250 fuel in the bank.
Yeah, big Chad points for picking Dank Hunter. Did kill the 2-2 with it, so justified that one anti-tank squad, but it's just the rest of the the units that he needs to worry about. But Orange Pest MP40 stormtroopers this time as well. So
yeah, on the west side, that'll be a nasty surprise. Oh, grenade. There we go. Conscripts try and dodge it, and then have to retreat in the end. We've got G43 Grens gunning them down as they do so.
Saddest day in my life, though, when Stormtroopers got the STGs taken away and the bundle nade. Do you remember the bundle nade combo from Camo? It's like, yes, I have commandos now.
Ed, I completely agree. I can't believe they only left them with Panzer Shreks, MP40s, G43s, tactical advanced booby traps, smoke grenades, incendiary grenades, and stun grenades. And it's like, what were they thinking?
At one point, Matt, you couldn't click 2 of them on classic keys. 2 of the buttons had the same.
Oh, I remember
hotkey.
that. Yeah, that bug. The funny thing is, Ed, there's still bugs like that for the Brits. Nice takeout by the Panzer IV there.
Yeah.
But nobody ever plays the Brits, so nobody told the balance team. He's going to kill the Maxim as well, by the looks of it.
Yep. Can't beat the Chosen One if he's killing his own unit. Oh, hard kills it from Orange Pest.
Von Ivan in chat. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. They don't have flares?
Yeah.
They actually come with a complimentary. They actually come with a complimentary catalogue, so you can look up which ability you want to use next. You know, like when you're.
They have self-healing as well as a passive. I forgot that one. Vet 1, I think.
God, I can't believe we hadn't finished naming all the things they do. All right.
But where you
Tank Hunters are in a bit of pother here, Ed. I don't know why they didn't retreat there, but Loveness has lost a valuable element of his army. He may be thinking about the deciding ace game. I think he already is. And we've also got the MP40 Stormtroopers taking out the sniper. We're going to a game 3, surely. No! He stuck around trying to get the kill, and they actually sacrificed themselves for the Stormtrooper in the end.
That was a weird flex moment, but here comes double stun nades just to make doubly sure. And Zizgun's going down. I think Loveness is just sipping on a pina colada at the moment, taking his hands off the wheels and letting it crash into the ocean. There we go. GG's, 1-1, Matt.
Let God take the wheel, indeed.
Animals, mira, bleep, bleep. Created by Wolf, edited by Rachel.
All right then, so we're now going to a game 3. Let's see what the players are up to.
Yeah, I whacked some lights on as well, Matt, and a little victory hat. And as Sweetroll asked about my hats, I put on a Finnish one just for him. So there we go.
Completely, like randomly, by the way, I've not even worn it on stream yet. But to be, my stepbrother got me a really good Christmas present this year. Stepbrother, what's it called when your sister has a fiance? Future
brother-in-law.
Future. Are they called a Ushanka? What is it? He said for your streams.
That's a Ushanka, yeah. Yeah, that's
really...
a good one.
Oh, I can actually hear the game through the Ushanka.
Tank Commander right there. Vet 3 baboon at the wheel in that.
Yeah, I feel a little bit... Anyway, yeah.
Papa tea cozy. Well, we've just come out of winter, so maybe you can get the summer edition next time. But yeah, good game there in game 2, though. I knew Orange Pest could hurt Loveness, but I didn't think he would hurt him that bad. And Loveness just, I think, once he felt comfortable, was just getting a bit too comfortable with the double sniper pick.
Yeah.
And yeah, punished by Orange Pest. Well played to him. Brings up the 3rd game is what we wanted, Matt. That's what I was asking for earlier. So
yeah,
very pleased and grateful we get a full best of 3 for the fans today. And yeah, what did you think of Orange Pest's play there, though, as Oster?
I thought it was good. I thought the Stormtroopers was an excellent decision. Countered the sniper perfectly. I think Orange Pest has built up over time excellent coping mechanisms to deal with his absolute sniper hate. And and yeah, it worked well.
He countered his own hatred with skillful play.
Wow.
but he had some good doctrines there. I know they're called off meta, but that Elite Troops is pretty good. Like, say if you're jamming rock, you're playing that every day of your life. So that was pretty good doctrine to have, as opposed to Tank Hunters, not so meta. But yeah, game 3, both of them got to go off meta again, as the stipulations today they agreed to. So yeah, it's all to play for, and a map swap as well, Matt. So that will shake things up.
Yeah, Nexus is next. That'll be starting in 5 minutes or so, with a little break in between.
Pompey in chat recognizing the good old I have 2 Henry Hoovers, but 1 like tube stalk thing.
You have an harem.
I forgot one in London.
You have an
when I moved house
of Henry Hoovers.
Yeah, mate.
Just do they know about each other?
No, one's yellow, one's red.
Oh, okay.
And,
so you've got multiple ethnicities.
One
right?
hasn't got a nose, is basically what I'm saying. So he's feeling pretty useless in life.
Oh, are you sure it's useless?
Giving him a day off. But yeah, definitely not sponsored. Feels bad, man. But at least out of the big smoke for now. So yeah, back in Leicestershire, Pomps. The homeland.
Guerrilla marketing.
Little German company called Gorillas, actually, in London, and they've taken over during lockdown in terms of the quick delivery thing. Guy comes on a bike if you wanted like beers before the footy or something. Boom,
Oh, really?
10 minutes, they're at your door, and yeah, just load of little bikes. Peeps.
They need to ban that. They need to ban it. So
It's
is it
so
actual
lazy.
bikes? Sorry, it's like push
it makes
bikes.
you so lazy. Yeah,
it
push bikes.
Oh, that's
yeah,
all right
yeah.
then. But I'd
it's just
heard
so
and read
quick.
that like London tried to like they
He's applying for a job right now there. But yeah, so yeah.
I heard that London banned obviously like cars, And now it's just delivery vans. Everything's delivery vans because everyone's got like next day delivery and Uber Eats and everything.
And cars, but yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? They had the
You got to be
congestion
pretty plush
charges.
to have a car, in central London at the moment.
So the
But
congestion actually got
Birmingham's
worse
just the
in
same
London.
and other places. So
Oh, don't get me started on Birmingham.
I think it's just new bike is the new meta. We all just got to declare ourselves Dutch and actually get out there more. Learn
I
how
went
to
on
ride.
my push bike early. You feel really exposed, like somebody's going to kill you at any second. On the roads, it's just so dangerous.
Oh yeah. They had to they changed some laws the other week about cycles. We have to give them 1.5 meter clearance when you overtake one, apparently. So
I don't know
good
why
luck
they're
that
called
on-
push bikes. I tank. In Britain, they're called push bikes. You don't push them, you ride them. Never understood that. A wet wipe is a wipe that is wet. That it's pre-wettened for your pleasure and use. Any more questions about?
Meanwhile, in America, they're like, "What the hell is a Henry Hoover? Isn't it a vacuum cleaner?" But yeah, we call things after the brand here in the UK rather than what they actually are. So
Yeah. Although Hoover the brand did make a resurgence, I noticed. Like people actually do buy Hoovers now.
that would ease confusion, but yeah.
What kind of Hoover have you got? Oh, I've got a Hoover. No, I mean, what Hoover have you got? Hoover.
JCB is a common one. We always call it a JCB, even though it's a digger or whatever.
What kind of Coke do you want? I'll have a Pepsi. A Pepsi Coke.
A soda.
Yeah,
I just can't call fizzy drinks a soda.
Who
It
does?
just doesn't sit with me. It's weird. When we always used to watch, like, I don't know, American Pie and all the American
Yeah, of course.
little films as a teenager growing up and stuff. Whenever you heard soda, just, I don't know, it's weird. But it's very true though, and yeah, we do have good old map change. I can see in the background. Won't reveal it yet, but yeah, it's been good, Matt. What do you think about as these tournaments things keep going for Co2? What do you think about the maps and their evolutions throughout? Do you think
I think we're ready
kept
to
up with the meta?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, I've had to be a big part of that because, well, originally they facilitated the meta pretty badly, and because I'm a colossal octopus, and I got my fingers in all the pots. What it was is I thought if I told all the map makers we need to make the maps justifiable from a support weapon standpoint, so everyone can kind of play the tournament style in tournaments, and then I kind of facilitated the two of everything of Doom situation. So I was like, oh, okay, my bad.
Few of the maps feel a bit similar in focus, although Faymanville is still my favourite-ville.
Yeah, same.
But I do biasly have to plug Mill Road. But yeah, bring back Langers. I want to see some Langers, man. It's got great positions of the houses on the VPs and yeah, double mortar on Langers. Best day of your life, man. You don't know what you're missing.
No.
Just let RNG take over.
You say
mate.
Langers, I just imagine a big green field with 1 hour 20-minute games. You know, I once had a 1 hour 42-minute auto match game on Langers. 1 hour 42 minutes. It's on Cody.org replay section. It's.
You must have been neutralized all VPs for
we were just trading the VP. Yeah, we had so many heavy tanks. It was amazing.
Perfect equilibrium of not being decisive or taking the leaps.
Right, we're 20 seconds out, guys. Let's get this party started. Hello there and welcome everyone to the deciding ace game of the final of the 4th qualifying event for this year's big Master League tournament. Big shout out to Red Wings in chat. I've just made him VIP because he's the original gangster, as Ed called him earlier, of Off Meta. And we're playing an Off Meta final, so what better person to give a shout out to? Ed, talk us through the players and talk us through their choices.
Well, just to echo that, it's pretty chicken and the egg. What brought the off meta? Was it Red Wings appearing in chat, or was it the off meta of the game bringing Red Wings to chat? But yeah, here with the players in this game, Loveness with Urban Assault Company. Wow, just thinking, right, I'll show you how it's done, Orange Fest, because Orange Fest in game one didn't look good with this doctrine, so Loveness will give it a crack on good old White Flash's map. And Orange Pest, wow, straight away, elite troops again. So he must have won the toss, maybe, to get Oster again 2 games in a row.
Let me double check. Let me
But
have a Orange Pest had VP lead. He had 4-9-3. So
yeah,
indeed,
okay.
Orange Pest said he picked Ver on Nexus, indeed. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Pioneers push in. They take a very good avenue away from Love Nest, meaning that Orange Pest can obviously lock down the south a little bit easier with his machine and Gewehr.
Oh my god, Super Chad, Red Wings removed his own VIP in chat, Matt. That's how off meta he is.
Wow,
but, yep.
Okay.
There you go. So, Loveness here. Bit of early aggression. Again, utilizing cover so well. I don't think many other top tier 1v1 players are so hell-bent and focused on getting into green cover and utilizing the map as much as the great German player. And there we go. Orange Pest thinks about bringing the Pioneers back before the capping of the fuel, but just has to tiptoe back in to complete it.
What great
MG...
distance management by Love Nest there. I think he really felt the situation well. The MG hasn't had a chance to fire yet. He does have rifles capping up. He's gotten the northern point, and he's just going to be chill and content with what's happened. And the MG's now going to reposition. Let's see how Love Nest copes with this. He's going to keep a follow camera on Love Nest here. I know he's a big tap map user, but this will give you a good feeling for what he's seen and how he's reacting to things. Waiting, sees a Gren. He knows that MG's there somewhere, though, so I wonder what he's going to do.
Yeah, good pressure already this from Loveness. It's nice to see Loveness on USF, actually. It's been a long old while since we've seen that. I remember a game in GCS2 where he was getting rickrolled by USF's Jezelin, and he came back and just deleted 50,000 Shermans, so he definitely knows how to play against USF, but it's rare seeing him going himself. Here comes the MG42 now, finally getting some shots off, but awkward positioning here from Orange Fest's MG.
Famously, the first time Love Nest played USF in a tournament was actually GCS 1 in the semi-finals. He practiced them in secret, Helping Hands prepared to counter Love Nest Soviets, and Love Nest unveiled them in the semi-final and demolished Helping Hands. It was an amazing display of pre-thought and strategic thinking. Riflemen are low though, so they're going to have to retreat. They're going to get focus fired as well, and they can't get a very good retreat path thanks to his own barbed wire. Grens go for the block. They can't pull it off, but that's a lot of health damage in the early game. Love Nest has been able to cap the north of the map though, so it's pretty spread equally at the moment.
Yeah, kept Orange Fest so busy with his MG because he knew he couldn't move it that much to cover his own fuel, so just excellent game sense there from Loveness, utilizing the rear echelons. Look at that, folks. Quite a toothless unit in the early game, but their power comes in capping, and wow, we've already seen the stun nade getting some veterancy up on the Grenadiers. And the world's fastest ambo map with Lieutenant Combo.
Yeah, that'll be pretty good for Loveness. That's the damaged rifleman, by the way, guys. It meant he needed the ambulance earlier, and he knew about it. Meanwhile, Orange Pest doesn't need any healing in base because he's got it on the field. So this is a sign of the evolution of the skill ceiling of the game. All these abilities, it took them years to learn to do them in a pressurized scenario. We all know about these abilities, Ed, but to think during a tournament game, oh, I should heal now. It shows the evolution of play.
Yeah, and twinned with the going behind a big shot blocker, knowing it can't get interrupted. Because if you get shot at whilst doing that healing ability, I think it cancels all the healing. So, yeah, really good stuff there from Orange Fest. But
with stuns and then retreats,
oh, that was a brave stun nade. Stuck around a bit too long there. MG42 covered it though.
I think that's one of the best utilities of stun grenades, to be honest, is obviously giving yourself a safe retreat path. They are otherwise thrown at units to stop their DPS for 4 or 5 seconds. It's a fun mechanic, and I would I'd like to see it back in Code 3, to be honest.
It's not exactly very cheap, so you can't fling them around like in a grapes and a fruit fruit fights. Here we go.
And the
2-2.
important thing about
Yes.
Wehrmacht, Ed, is that they're actually munitions starved in the early game, whilst they try and get
Yeah.
all the upgrades for their grenadiers. So every 20 munition expenditure is 1/3 of an MG42, for example, or how much is the G40? Oh, it's also 1/3 of a Jaeger infantry package.
Yeah, definitely. They're very hungry on munis, are Austin. And here we go. 2-2-2 is going to come out, and it's going to be faced by a Stuart, the King Stuart, in about a minute. So Orange Pest, I think, has got to lock instantly the AT gun and not go for Stormtroopers just yet, buddy. Click Stormtroopers, GG. Okay. This could be tough. Let's see how the Stuart comes onto the field.
He's got 3 Panzerfaust platforms. He can play defensively within his sector against the Stuart, but he can only do that. Don't forget, there's a lot of walls on Nexus. He's going to cede the central ground, though, for certain, because, you know, against the Stuart with MP40 Stormtroopers, as you say, you're going to be waiting to get a pack out. It's going to take you longer now, too.
And this map has got extra points because it is a White Flag's finest creation. So it does mean you can get munis and fuel just by capping more little strategic points. Here we go.
Ooh,
Stormtroopers that I said
yeah.
were a problem. Well, a bad choice. Nearly proving my words wrong there. Do you get home without dropping the model there? So that's all
You
good.
say that early, Ed. It might actually not turn out to be true.
Nice.
Okay, it is true. My bad, it is true. You have premonition. You're very lucky. Faust comes in on the Stuart, forces it away. Orange Pest with decent control, though, and he's also neutralising the fuel, so he's weathered the storm of the Stuart's arrival. Meanwhile, Loveness has actually gone bars, which, you know, a lot of players don't necessarily do in tournaments as USF, because they're all just gunning to get as many vehicles out as soon as humanly possible. But this will be good. This will help him, obviously, fight off the strong infantry start from Orange Pest.
Speaking of bars, it's the only thing that really irks me in this game. Like, I think in Code 3 they've already addressed it quite well, from what I've seen so far. But the sound of the BARs, why are they like little
That's so true. What is that?
staplers?
There we go. We did have a nice rifle nade at max range there, but Loveness literally sidesteps it with casual ease. As we have Stormtroopers very low on health, by the way. They could do with the Grenadiers helping them out, because their first engagement is going to be a painful one, but they do have Cloak, of course. Loveness is applying some decent pressure across the map now with the arrival of grounded automatics, and you can see the ebb and flow of battle in Company Heroes Ed. As soon as somebody's got an upgrade or a new vehicle, you'll see them get more map control.
Yep, they actually utilize every little portion of their army, and there's very small amount of basically AFK or idle unit time. And as the units ramp up on the battlefield, that gets harder and harder to micromanage all of these units at once. But there we go, AT gun right behind the MG42, support weapon helping support weapon there, Matt, and keeping the Stuart at bay.
I think that's the beauty of Elite Level 1 vs 1. That's why so many people love watching it. Because as you rightfully say, Ed, when their efficiencies are high, they're part of like an overall system. And that system is so lovely to watch. It's so obvious. The bars are on the field, so the red portion of the map gets smaller. But if they weren't as good as they are, that would not necessarily be the case. I mean, if it's me and you with bars, it doesn't necessarily mean we get more of the map. Anyway, let's crack on with
Probably just shoot you and call it a win. Blue on blue, friend.
Right, Rifles and Lieutenant watching on the... Could not see the finish of this. It was... Oh, it was going to be an M7 light anti-vehicle mine, actually, that he wasn't able to finish there. Interesting. What do you reckon then, chat? This one looks like a long one, I've got to say. It's a little bit more cagey than the previous two. And I feel like we might be in for a bit of a slobber knocker at this rate.
Yeah, it's shaping up well. Or chat will say, but what do you think about the the manual reload on MG Cruise? Do you utilize it much, Matt? Or I see not many players press it.
No,
when
it's
in the
as I
downtime.
say, it's one of those skill ceiling things. It's obviously the level of skill in the tournament sphere is pretty damn good, but it doesn't mean that the entirety of the game's utilised, and there is a little bit of laziness in some elements, and that's one of them. They're trying to push past the MG, but the Stormtroopers are there. It's a hard retreat needed for Loveness, and he's going to lose some manpower on the way. Meanwhile, by the way, the Pack's found the Stuart there, and this is a little bit of a tricky area to navigate with a light vehicle, shown off by the fact that it got hit twice. Love Nest's reversals have not been good in the qualification tournament so far.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of little things, medium cover things that can really disrupt a light vehicle's path, but same goes to the 2-2, so...
No, what it actually is with him is I think he reverses in tac map without taking into account the orientation of the vehicle. It's literally a noob error. I've seen him do it maybe 3 or 4 times in big tournaments in 2022. And he was like obviously the best player in the world for a long portion of his career, but you still sometimes make noob errors. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's also old habits die hard. You know, sometimes we don't have the best habits, especially when we're noobs learning this game. But yeah,
but you can also pick up. You can pick up bad habits even as a legendary strategic mastermind. I mean,
yeah,
it's crazy to think, but it's possible.
What's Isildur's weakness?
Well, it took him 3 tournaments to qualify, so he's certainly not looking as good as he once was. He was looking unbeatable at one point. He qualified 3rd. Ashablaw and then Nagano qualified before him.
Yeah, players represented from all over the world. Just shows how widely loved this game is. Speaking of wide, that's a good firing arc on the MG42. Trying to suppress
what a rifle nade into MP40
Yep.
Stormtroopers. And force them off there.
Deserved a bit more there. He's past the green cover, so that rifle nade I thought should have done a bit more, but yeah, Loveness gets away with that one. Second MG42 in the build for Orange Vest, so he's going for the old 2-2-2-2-2-2-2-2 formation. What do you reckon, Matt? 2 MG42s on this map? Do you think it actually opens up Loveness to steal another one? Because you've always got to think of it working against you if it goes wrong.
Nah.
No, he makes no mistakes. He'll be fine.
No, I just think if you're going 2 MGs, it's not the fact you might lose one, it's the fact that you might dominate your opponent's infantry and win the game. It's the bigger problem, I would assume. I don't see it as only in my games do I think, oh, I've got too many MGs, I'm bound to lose one.
It's very good positive thinking from you, and yeah, too worrisome from me. Always look on the board.
Too pushed away there by the Stuarts, and the Riflemen think about getting an 1880, but they can't. There's too many things in the way, quite frankly, and now they fall prey to that brand new MG42 on the field.
Yeah, I think Orange Vest needs to utilise his Stormtroopers a bit better this round. They're nearly Vet 1, so they can self-heal soon and stay out on the battlefield a lot more. But they haven't really had the impact that they did against the sniper on the previous map of Family Fields.
So Orange Pest is definitely buckling down into a long confrontation here, and the second MG is a big psychological tell of that. He wants to gain control and keep it, and he doesn't mind doing it in a slow, considered way.
Yeah, it's bit of a good hit there from max range. Vet 1 pack now, but bit of a shame there's been no tellers yet. I know Loveness has a sweeper, but still, you got to put it out there, because that is the kryptonite of the King Stuart, which is Vet 2 and being such a pain now. It's only got 4 kills, but it's Vet 2. It's like a Pathfinder. It's vetted out of its mind.
Orange Pest taking advantage of Loveness, trying to wrestle him in the centre and the south, and he's also being able to now push up in the north. So he's really exerting great control with his double machine and Gewehr so far.
Yep, good VP control here though from Orange Vest, which is tough to do against Loveness's caliber and such the focus and the nature of the player. You know, on the little player cards, Matt, we should almost put, you know, if they're VP focused or territory point focused, and Loveness definitely the former.
Speaking of player cards, I always forget to show them off. There they are. Loveness versus Orange Pest. The brand new feature took me like 30 hours to do. And I forget to bloody... I promise you, in the finals tournament, I'm going to bloody bring the player cards up in the intro of the game. If I don't, Ed, smack me in the face.
I'll try and remind you before the games.
Okay, good idea. Good idea.
Working on it. But yep, second MG42 getting its way up to Vet 1. Remember, the incendiary rounds kick out a lot of damage. And can sandblast a steward a bit. Rip its paint off.
Pounds of 4 soon to hit. There is an M1AT gun on the field. We've also got a nice rifle nade. They're always nice. It actually is a stun grenade. Of course it was. It couldn't have been a rifle nade anyway. They're a G43 squad. It would have been the Model 24 normal instead of the Model 24 stun. Maybe you just got mixed up.
Mad poetry in motion here from Loveness. Orange Pest, sorry. Now he can take out the AT gun.
But cover to cover used.
Yep.
Yeah, cover to cover used is not.
He's gonna get it back because of that. That is next level play.
Yeah, cover to
he just ignores it and runs past it, so he wants to clear it with another unit potentially.
Knows that.
And suddenly it's Loveness on the offensive. With that cover to cover, look at the speed of the rifleman pushing through. Snare 2-2, P4 out on the field though, in the center. Steward can't overcommit here. Oh, double miss! Luckiest King Steward of all time. That would have been a dead Steward just then, if everything connected, but no certainties in Code 2 and RNG. Will there be an attack ground? There will be, and it was the reversing again, Matt, that scuppered Loveness there with the light vehicle. Why didn't he just go straight back? Instead he goes for the L shape. Dogleg turn.
Big wins for Orange Pest there, and he's going to take out the M1. Loveness has gone eerily quiet. Is he going to continue to fight, or is he going to throw in the towel knowing he's already qualified for the big Master League tournament in 2 weeks' time? Let's see what happens. Is he going to continue, or is that it? We've got server delay possible, and the Loveness has dropped from the game. That's all we're going to have, folks. He's tapped out indeed. He's thrown in the towel. And that's all she wrote. Orange Pest has won his first ever ranked 1v1 event. GG, well played, sir. And there we go. That was a fun little non-meta best of 3. It was a good laugh, eh?
Very fast and furious, that third and final game. I was almost like settling in, you know, thinking, right, this is going to be a good 40-50 minute White Flash Reborn Finest game. But no, that map actually had a very sudden end. I don't think Loveness was fully committed in that series, as he may well be in deeper down into the tournament. But doesn't take anything away from Orange Pest. Well done. That's the first great final he's got to and won outright. So yeah, much deserved. Loveness will come back and think again. But yeah, just brilliant play there from Orange Pest. We saw that poetry in motion with the AT gun following up with the MG a few times just to make sure of the M1 gun going down and the pressure being on. P4 came out at Isildur record timings. And yeah, was definitely on form there, Orange Pest. Well played. Deserved 2-1 win, Matt.
Just to let you guys all know, there's a vote at the moment for the 8th qualifier in the to qualify. So we now have 7 that have qualified. We've, of course, just had Orange Pest as the 4th qualifier on automatically, having won the 4th tournament. And then we've got Loveness, we've got, who are the others? Quirits, and one other dude. Name somebody that's done really well, Ed. Loveness. I'll open up the bloody brackets. Hang on a second.
Still in the tourney, or?
No, it's fine. Inca Una, that's it. So Loveness, Orange Pest, and Inca Una on points. If you see my little drag selection there, dudes.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And then, of course, we've just had Orange Pest beat Loveness in the final. I'll just fill out this for everybody.
Yeah, pulling off a good upset there. And it was convincing as well. In that last game, totally outplayed was Loveness, which is very rare we say that.
So yeah, the points mean that we definitely have confirmed Loveness, Inca Una, and Quirits are your 3 qualifiers on points. Gibber unfortunately lost out. He was so close, but he lost to Quiritz yesterday, meaning that when this table gets updated, it will be Lovenest, Inca, and Quiritz joining, of course, Asher, Nagano, Isilda, and Orange Pest. He gets golden writing because he's a qualifier automatically. So yeah, we'll update the brackets. The bracket's going to feature the player cards all the way through. It's going to be a really interesting way of doing
there
it.
we go. Finally implemented the idea, Matt. That's good stuff. And do those stats like change before the final? Have you seen much
the big boys? There's no need to, but the smaller guys, yes, I've updated them a little bit. If we go over to this screen here, you can see like Orange Pest, I think, got a little bit buffed. Oh, did he? Let me double check actually. I know I definitely buffed Gibber, Quiritz, Elpern, who's played way better than he used to. He's had a great series, and that's why the Master League voting, the patron voting, is basically between Gibber and Elpern right now. So if you're a patron of the league, there's two guys that have all the votes so far, Gibber and Elpern, who did really well in this tournament qualification process, and they're neck and neck. So let's bring them up on screen, because basically speaking, it's Elpern versus Gibber, and they've both had their stats redone recently. And that is Gibber's real face, by the way.
And helmet. Good stuff. Gee, it just makes me feel so old looking at when all these guys were born, Matt. Turn it off. But yeah, look at the first tourneys as well. Interesting stats. So these guys are not long in that game, but doing so well considering. With look at the experience difference against Lovenest and when their first tourney was. So yeah, these players are definitely punching above their weight, and it just shows, steel sharpens steel, and they've been beavering away, streaming a lot during lockdown, keeping everybody entertained with the KOTU games they put on for us, as well as all the scrims behind the scene, Matt. They must be, putting in the hours
it's
there.
It's a lot of work to be good at Company Heroes. It's one of those games that you don't necessarily keep all your skill. If you get rusty, you get rusty quite easily. So it takes a lot of work. So the current voting, as I say, neck and neck of the patrons of the league, which I think there's 95 currently. We've had 12 votes cast. All, as I say, for Elpern and Gibber. So yeah, it's neck and neck. So go get in there and then go become a patron, get your role added, and you can decide who is the 8th qualifier for the tournament in 2 weeks' time. I don't know when the vote will end, actually, G. I know I haven't had enough votes yet, so I'll probably think of a deadline of, let's say, next weekend. Well, Kawzak, there's a lot of... I think Elpern has more popularity, but he's had a really good tournament series. But Gibber has won a lot of hearts and minds, and he's actually done the 4th best. Hang on. He's actually done the 8th best in the qualification system. So if it was purely on that, I mean, you'd probably give it to Gibber. But Elpern's played really chaotically, and he's brought a lot of interesting... he's taken some top players to their limits. So, yeah, it's a really close one. Really close one. Have you voted yet, Ed?
I've got so many favourites. I don't know. Like if I choose one person, I'll feel bad because I know the work that all of them put in. But I would say probably Elpern for me.
Well, but, I don't know.
I'm biased. We've played a lot of other games
together. I possibly would have said
so.
Gibber. I think Gibber was so close to qualifying, and if Quiritz had it was basically between him and Quiritz. They had a best of 3. That went, I'll bring this up on the brackets because this is really interesting. This pushed one of those 2 players down into the vote. So you had Quiritz versus Gibber yesterday when we only had 11 sign-ins. They just went straight into a best of 3. And it didn't get enough airtime. I hope Tightrope casts it or something. But basically, Quiritz won the 3rd game, and that meant Gibber went to the votes. And Gibber was not very happy with that. But meanwhile, Elpern, who's Gibber's... Elpern had an amazing game against Lovenest using mobile defense.
Yeah. Double Pumas. Yeah, I don't know. I think for the continued effort, but then again, Gibber's been at it for years as well. He's even been on the balance team, I think, as well.
Yeah.
and giving
think
you
both
so
of-
many stats and research into the game.
Yeah,
You
well,
know so much behind the
Jibber
scenes
did
of
all
it.
these stats on the brackets, don't forget, which is a really good
Yep.
contribution. I think both the patrons of the
Insane
Master
amount
League,
of
and
work.
I definitely know Elperd's a patron of the Master League. He has been since day one. So both are really good guys for the community. It's a really tough thing to vote for. I appreciate. But yeah, you've got your decision, guys. It's basically between those two. There were other options, but it's clear that those two deserve to be in the vote the most. And
Very
that's who it's
EU
going to be up
and
against.
Asia dominated ranks at the moment. I think NA need to get
They
back
do.
on the case. I know the tournaments could be tougher times for them, but there's Von Ivan, Siberian, Baoliang around. It would be nice to see NA come back with a bit of a surge of players as well.
Well, in Co3, yeah, I mean, that was always the problem in the tournament scene, and Relic even tried to do an ESL that was, half of it was NA money and half of it was EU money, and it was Von Ivan versus Paula in every single final. So it's always been a problem in Co2. It's always been EU dominated, and the rise of Asia was actually really, really great. When we first got like Ashablar and Asiaman like rocking up into tournaments and doing really well, I was really excited. Felt like we had a new continent.
Yeah, but it's definitely got EU kind of powerhouse feel at the moment, Co2. But like you said, Co3 might shake all things up, so that'll be good to see. But yeah, Matt, some fantastic games today, some MLG plays, and yeah, I think I'm well and truly ready for my Mingli dinner. So I don't know if have we got more games to do, or
Yeah, we've got
that
another
was-
best of 5, of course. We're going to have the third place playoff now. Best of 5 scenario. So, yeah, let's get into casting. I'm going to send you an invite to the spectator mode now. It's
Only
gonna
best
be...
of 5, not 99, eh?
No, it's Quirits versus Talisman. So,
Bringing back that 5 Volk meta.
yeah, indeed. All right, thank you very much to all the patrons of the league for funding these tournaments and for voting. Thanks to all the players that have played in the qualification events. You will not be forgotten. But we're now down to final 9 people who it could be, and we're going to have 8 people fighting for you in 2 weeks' time in the finals 2022. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday. Cheers. And thanks to Ed for casting as well. Thanks, Ed.
Bye
Bye, guys.
Cheers.